Free Zero P is brought to you in part by Bonehead Composites, the makers of the Mind Warp and the Mind Warp Millennium Free Fly helmet, digital camera boxes and camera helmet accessories, and helmet systems. Bonehead Composite products are available everywhere fine parachute equipment is sold. Available now from Pure Video, packing made easy with Pack Like a Pro and techniques of canopy control in Fly Like a Pro, both only $19.99 each.
The Performance Design's goal: build parachutes that offer superior solutions to your needs. Sure, we have the most extensive R&D programs ever and the most advanced laser cutting technology in the industry, but that's not all. It's also our team. We're not just manufacturers, we're also customers. In every department, from design to R&D, production to sales, you'll find skydivers, people who don't just talk about parachutes, but put them to the test personally. It's this blend of advanced technology and practical application we feel enables us to offer what many people agree are the finest parachutes available today. Whether it's a Spectre or Silhouette, Sabre or Stiletto, PD Reserve or PD9 cell, there's a Performance Designs canopy to suit your needs. Try one. We think you'll agree. At Performance Designs, the proof is in the performance.
Skydiving is a high-risk activity that may result in serious permanent injury or death. This video is intended as a supplement, not a replacement to the necessary hands-on training recommended with a qualified packing instructor. Pure Media Incorporated cannot be held responsible for any loss or damage, personal or otherwise, resulting from misinformation or misunderstanding of the content in this program. Although the information in this program has been compiled through expert sources, it may still be incorrect.
Jake Brake has been skydiving since 1971 and has over 6,000 jumps. He is the general manager of Sunpath Products, maker of the Javelin. He is also an FAA master parachute rigger and is well known in the industry as one of the most knowledgeable and experienced experts. Jake is a stuntman and has worked in various capacities, including aerial stunt rigger, on numerous films and commercials.
Hi, I'm Jake Brake. A lot of people jump zero porosity canopies these days, and it's easy to see why. The performance is great right out of the box, and it stays that way for the life of the canopy. These parachutes are a lot of fun to fly, but most people think they're a real pain to pack. But packing can actually be easy if you know a few simple techniques. The secret to packing these zero porosity canopies is to get the air out and keep the air out. The best time to start that is right when you land. You can grab the tail of the canopy and actually start shaking some of the air out through the nose. Let's go into the loft now and we'll show you some specifics.
It is important to always set the brakes after landing, recheck that the brakes are properly stowed before packing, inspect and clear the lines, inspect the canopy, and reset the pilot chute.
Zero porosity fabric is made by applying a special coating. This coating prevents any air from passing through the weave. While you're packing, the only place for this air to escape is through these stitch holes, so go slowly. If you go fast, the trapped air will blow the pack job apart. Other properties of this coating makes the fabric very slippery, and the fabric has a memory and always tries to open back up. The key to making the job easy is to pack neatly and accurately. Since packing doesn't hurt the canopy, practice until you're good at getting the canopy neatly folded and into the bag. Well, now that we know a little bit more about the zero porosity canopy fabric, let's get down to packing this thing. So, as we talked about before, the most important thing is to control the fabric from the beginning to the end of the pack job. That'll make your life a lot easier when you go to fold the canopy into the bag. We're going to start by locating all of the nose cells. This particular canopy has 9 of them. We want to make sure that we find all of the high points here. Once we have done that, we're going to take the canopy and give it a gentle shake, which will start to help the alignment of the parachute. After we've done this, we want to place it between your knees to hold the nose in place. Next, we are going to start at the front of the canopy and work our way all the way to the back, separating out the material between the A lines and the B lines and the C lines and the D lines. Then we'll move to the other side of the canopy and repeat the process from the front to the rear. If you've done a nice neat pack job, your canopy should look like this. You'll notice that we have nice neat folds between each separate line group. The last thing we want to do before we pull the tail around the canopy is to dress the slider. So what we're going to do is clover leaf it right out between each of the line groups. And also, this is a really good time to make sure that if you have a collapsible slider, you've uncollapsed the slider. It'll work a whole lot better later on. Next, we're going to find the center of the tail and start to wrap it around the canopy. We make one tight wrap just below the slider as normal, and then we grab the tail, making sure to only grab the tail fabric, not the steering lines. And then one little trick to use is to hold the canopy with your leg and pull the canopy fabric around to the front. Now we're going to do the same thing with the other side of the canopy. Just the fabric, not the steering lines. Once we have both sides of the tail around the front, we're going to make wraps in this, again, just to contain the canopy. This really doesn't affect the opening speed. It just helps us control the canopy from where we're going to put it on the ground next. At this point, we want to gently place the canopy onto the ground so we don't destroy all of the nice, neat folds that we made before.
Hi, I'm Jules. The best way I find to pack a 0P canopy is to get as much air out as possible before you begin. The way I do this is by picking the canopy up by the tail only and gather it all up. Then just push the air out with your arm all the way out the bottom through the nose. And you can feel the air coming out. To pack the canopy, just do the same pack job as you would do on any other canopy. Just remember that to group the lines together and to clear the lines away from the fabric. And the neater it is, the better it will go in the bag. Bring the slider down all the way to the slider stoppers, quarter it, and make sure the stabilizers are clear. Then you can wrap the tail, bring the tail up. One last check to make sure stabilizers are clear, and bring the tail round that side, and again this side. Now we can wrap it at the back. When we roll the tail at the back, I usually do a couple of rolls and hold it with my finger there, and then just roll it as normal further down. Just roll it as much as required. And now we're ready to put it on the ground. Remember when you put the canopy down on the floor to keep the line straight and to put it down gently so you don't disturb the pack job inside.
Now we're going to put our knee right on top of the slider and the slider grommets. This will help hold it in place while we get the air out of the rest of the canopy. Now is when we really want to spend some time to get as much air as we possibly can out of the canopy. The time you spend right now will definitely pay off when you go to put the canopy into the bag. Now, one little trick we're going to use to keep from getting the steering lines around the nose again is, instead of just taking the whole part of the canopy and wrapping it around, we're going to make a fold inward like this, on this side and on this side. Again, that keeps everything in line and the steering line's in the back. Now we take the center cell, pull up some slack, making sure that we don't have any steering lines in there, and we'll use this portion of the canopy now to wrap around. And at this point you can see that the canopy now is the width of the bag, and we're real sure that we still have the steering lines in the back and the nose in the front, just where everything belongs.
There are several ways to get the air out of a canopy. I prefer to lie on it. It's much quicker and it makes the job a lot easier when you're packing a big canopy. Remember though, the fabric has a memory and the canopy is always trying to open back up. So I make it easier by placing my knee lightly on top of the canopy to keep it under control. Now we can go ahead and make the first S-fold. To hold this in place, I put my knee very lightly on top. All my weight is on my foot. Then we're not squishing the canopy out to the sides. At this point, if you still see there's some air in the canopy, you can just apply some pressure and that will squish some more air out. Now we can make the second S-fold on top of the first one, only applying light pressure. Now I move round and hold the canopy up against my knees. I'm holding this side of the canopy with my forearm just to hold it in place while I squish the air out of this side. To hold this side in place, I'm going to use my knee, again very lightly, putting all the weight on your foot at the back, while we can squish more air out now this side. And I'm going to try and hold as much as the pack job in one hand. With the other hand, I'm going to get the bag ready. Now we're ready to put one side of the canopy in the bag. With my left hand, I'm going to hold the bag, and with my right hand, I'm going to lift the canopy up and pull the bag underneath. Now we can put that side totally in the bag, just like that. Now we're ready to do the other side, but first, to hold the bag in place, again, just rest your knee very lightly on there. And then hold all the pack job in one hand. With the other hand, find the lip of the bag, the first grommet, and do a crisscross push and pull movement. Then you can find the edge of the bag and just tuck that corner in. Now the canopy is in both sides. All we need to do is push the center fabric down. So there you have it. Packing 0P isn't difficult if you just remember these few simple points. Get the air out and keep it out, keep the fabric under control, and do a neat job. That's it, I'm done now.